Islington, in a way, was a bit out of town. It was almost provincial. You know, people really hadn't heard of theatre in Islington. We didn't have the King's Head, we didn't have the Armida, you know, we didn't have all those theatre buildings, and the Little Angel was one of the first to sort of, you know, rise up from. But it's interesting, the taxis eventually learnt that there was a little theatre in Islington that people.
And they put it on the knowledge, so
they
all
did,
got to know it in the end. Yes,
wonderful.
yes. And but we had huge tenement block opposite the workshop here, 6 foot away from the door into the theatre, and it was 5 stories high. And behind us there was a very tall church hall too. So we lived in a shadow of these 2 buildings, and it was very exciting. The building in front of us was condemned, and that eventually came down. And people said, oh, we're going to miss that feeling of going down this dark little passage and into this magical place. But actually, we haven't missed it. It's wonderful. We now have the area in front where the children can play. There are trees there. It's great. It's lovely.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. And but we still, in the audience, I still see the same people who came very early on. And it's wonderful. And, you know, you've watched generations grow up. And it started off at, I remember Boxing Day was always a day when people regularly booked for it. And they'd come with these little children. And then the next year round, they were bigger and bigger. Yeah. And now you see this whole rows of great adults, you know, and these were some of the
bringing their
families.
families. Yes, which is wonderful. No, it's wonderful, and it's grown and grown, and it's really still an exciting place.
There's a woman the other day who said, oh, I came when I was 6 years old. She said, and I've come every 10 years. She said, I came for my 30th birthday, I came for my 40th birthday, and now I'm here for my 50th birthday.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah.
There's also the variety of shows that were put on too, the string shows and the smaller shows for the little ones, so the glove puppets and the rods. And John Wright always used to go out and say the same thing to the audience before a show started, which was what?
Yes, now this is where you all keep quiet and you let the puppets
do the talking.
Yes, for the puppets do the talking. But I mean, it was amazing the work that John put on. The scripts were incredible. The children had to reach up to understand sometimes. I mean, he didn't set himself out to go and entertain children. No. If the children turned up, they had to behave themselves and fit in. But he was doing puppet theatre, and puppet theatre was what was really important to him. So puppet theatre was the main thing. And if the children wanted to fit in, that was fine, they could come too. But amazing, actually, the music that he used was stuff that no one had heard before. He found these things, and the children grew up with this a wonderful sense of the music, the drama, the scripts, very exciting stuff. And when you talk to these children now who've grown up, and they say, you know, in my dreams and in my imagination, it was always the puppets that took the lead. And when I thought of something really, really frightening, it was always the sea witch. And when I remembered something beautiful, it was so-and-so from the shows, you know. But it was amazing because in the early days, people actually rang up and said, who's playing Rapunzel today? I'd like to come and see it, and I just wanted to know which puppeteer was playing. They really cared, the people who were coming, and I just hope it's the same now.
Yeah, definitely.